Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's the end of September and I'm doing one of my favourite times of the year for wildlife photography, and I'm here to photograph the red deer rut, and that sort of starts at the end of September and runs through into October, and it's a time when the red deer, the males are fighting because they want to mate with the females, and it's great for wildlife action photography. And it's great actually. I had a really good photography session just this minute ago. Just behind me there's a few really young male deer left, but there was a big stag with lots of females, and he was strutting around roaring, and then this other big stag came past, and I thought, oh, there might be a little bit of an interaction, but he just kept walking, and he walked over to the other side over there, and then at least half the females to start with just wandered off, or ran off actually, and went with the other stag, even though the big dominant stag was roaring and you know, posturing and really trying to hold on to the females. And the fact of the matter is, it's up to the females who they want to mate with. It's not the males. The males are fighting for dominance, but the females make the final decision. So this male here, he lost half his females almost straight away. And then I've got some lovely footage of him just sort of walking around and roaring and trying to hold on to the females he had left. And then over a period of time, they all just left him. And this field now is almost empty. All there is a few young males. But it was a fantastic little moment. And that's what I like about photographing red deer. It's not just about the big sort of, you know, the fights. There's loads of other really interesting behaviour, and that was great. So I'm going to be taking pictures for the next 2 or 3 days up here. So when I get good pictures, I'll put them on this video. I'm going to shoot some video footage as well, so any good footage I'm going to put on this vlog as well. So yeah, I'll say bye for now, guys. Equipment wise, for today and the next few days, I've got my 200 to 500mm zoom lens, and the reason I didn't bring my big prime is because you have to do a lot of walking around. The deer are on the move constantly and you need to sort of follow them, but obviously keeping a respectful distance, because A, we don't want to stress the animals out. That's absolutely vitally important, and secondly, during the deer rut they are really aggressive in some instances, so you need to keep a respectful distance for your own safety and for the deers. The other thing is as well, it's really important to keep an eye on what's behind you, because sometimes you get maybe a female deer or another male come round the back of you and you're in between one male and maybe another male, or the male and it's female, and that's a really dangerous place to be. So keep an eye what's around you, and keep a respectful distance, and that's, as I say, important for the animals' welfare and our own. So I've got my 200 to 500mm zoom, so that means at 500mm I can keep a good distance away from these deer because they're big animals, and it's not as heavy as my prime lens because I'm doing a lot of walking around looking for, you know, different bits of behaviour. And I've got my Nikon Z6 II because I'll be doing wildlife filming, wildlife video as well as stills, and then I'm set up on continuous focusing so that I can autofocus and follow that movement, but I'm also I'm only on a single AF point here because the deer don't move that quickly, so it means I can put that single AF point bang on the deer's eye or on its head, but generally on its eye, and that's very accurate for the focusing, plus the fact there's lots of long grasses here, so if I'm down low, if maybe the deer are sitting down, so I've taken a low viewpoint, then I don't want lots of other group AF points picking up the grass and throwing my main subject out of focus. I'm on a fast shutter speed, about a 500th of a second. They're not as fast as birds in flight, so 500th of a second is fine. And I'm on using my gimbal head, so that not only can I track the movement for my stills photography, but it gives me really smooth panning movement for the filming, for the video. So yeah, again, bye for now guys, and I shall speak to you soon. This was the best deer rut I've ever had the privilege to watch and film. These two big stags were parallel walking first, and basically that means they walk up and down in parallel to each other, and they're basically working out which is the strongest. And if one is stronger than the other, then the rut won't go on. They'll just go their separate ways, and the stronger male deer will just bellow away, and the weaker one will wander off. But when you get two deer that are equally matched, then there's the chance of a deer rut. And that's what happened here. These two deer parallel walked, and then suddenly they locked antlers. And they were locking antlers right in the bracken, and I thought, oh no, you know, I'm going to miss this. But suddenly they broke free of the bracken, and I had this amazing experience. And as I say, this is probably the best deer rut I've ever videoed. I was lucky enough to be able to photograph and film the deer over a period of 3 or 4 days, and on one morning we had these lovely misty conditions, which is something you're always hoping to get when you photograph red deer. And it was nice because initially I had this stag roaring into the mist, and it was a fantastic atmospheric shot, really nice footage. And then there was this female, and with a young deer, you know, mum and baby really, and it was a really playful moment because they were just leaping around in the mist, and it made again for some really nice footage, and I was really pleased to get that. And it's not just about getting the big deer and the roaring stags, as I mentioned earlier. There's lots of extra little bits of behaviour to capture, and that's why I think the red deer rut in the autumn is so fantastic to watch, photograph and video. I hope you've enjoyed this video and maybe found it useful, and if you have enjoyed it, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, if you can consider subscribing, that would be great. The more the merrier. And if you can give it a thumbs up this video, that would be brilliant. It really helps my channel. And then last but not least, if you've got any comments about wildlife photography, about wildlife equipment, anything about photography in general, just drop it in the comments section below. Oh, and the other thing is as well, if you do subscribe, if you press the little bell icon, you should be notified when my next video is uploaded. So yeah, thanks very much for watching guys. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll say bye for now.